Okay, something's happening. I literally just tried to move that off and it's moved the whole main heat exchanger, so I think it's about to drop. There we go. We're out. We're out. Oh, we've got more coming out. We've got more coming out. Okay. Okay. A bit of water came out that return hose. That's okay. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there, and happy Mother's Day to all the single fathers out there who are doing mother's job as well. Let's just call it Happy Parents' Day. In actual fact, this weather's a bit deceiving. I'll be back. That's better. Although it is absolutely beautiful out today, it's still nippy. So don't be fooled by the sunshine. I just wanted this intro right here for a change because, yeah, you know, make the most of the sunshine whilst we've got it, because you never know when the weather's going to turn. Hope everyone has had a great week. What have you been up to this week? Have you had a busy week? Have you noticed it's quieting down a bit? I've noticed that this week has been quieter. Next week is even quieter. But do you know what? I'm not even worried about it because, like I said, when silly season is in full swing, we're just panicking. I had to get all these jobs booked in. When it gets quiet, we start panicking, thinking we haven't got enough work, but it's just mentally just trying to switch off or wind down a bit and learn to enjoy the downtime, because there's stuff that I've got to be doing around the house. Went to IKEA yesterday, bought a new cabinet. I'm not going to get a chance to put it up today, I don't think so, but it's sort of stuff that I can do when I haven't got jobs in the week and I've got a day off in the week and the kids are at nursery and at school. That's when I can get all this life admin stuff done. So don't panic if things do go a bit quieter. Take advantage of it, because when it gets busy, we'll be complaining about the same thing. We're too busy, we haven't got enough time, etc, etc, etc. So it's about just using whatever time you've got effectively. If you've got work, go and smash it. If you've got free time, make the most of it, because we don't get that free time that often. On that note, I am going to go inside and make myself a coffee. I'm going to come back out here and enjoy it. And before I do that, I also need to switch this bad boy on. Because, let's just move that up so there's not putting too much strain on the connection. Yeah, I bought this about 4 weeks ago, but I've only started using it this week, so I've got that set to 4 degrees. It's currently seeing the temperature is at 10.6 degrees, so I'm going to leave that on for a few hours now, because normally I jump in there first thing in the morning, but I've got swimming class with Jessica this afternoon, so there's no point doing that now. I'll just do it when I get back from the class and then get on with the rest of my afternoon. So you guys, I'm going to go inside. Like I said, I'm going to make myself a coffee. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to the video if you haven't already. And if there's any of the Unilite products that you see me using in this video that you like the look of, just go on Unilite's website, use my code UNCLE and you get 25% off your complete order. There's some links to some of the favorite lights that I use in the description below if you're interested. Then fill your boots. Other than that, hope you've all had a great weekend and I will see you guys on Wednesday. All right, I am trying something different out. I'm gonna do a bit of talking whilst I am on my way to the job. Basically, save me a bit of time once I get to the job, so when I'm pulled over in the van, I'm not then having to yap away, losing precious minutes. Now, today I have got an emergency boiler swap to do, and I say it's an emergency because I'll show you when we get there that it is a glowworm heat only. It is only been installed in 2016, so it's not even 10 years old yet. The top connection has been weeping for a while, and I went there the day before yesterday. Well, I went for an F83 fault code that had been coming up, but when I checked around the boiler, I saw the rusting. I just sort of tried to clean it up with my screwdriver, and lo and behold, screwdriver went straight through the casing. We know what that means. Unfortunately, it's not something that can be repaired. It's a write-off, So I've had to move things around for today, and I've literally got the exact same boiler, and it's literally just going to be a boiler swap, a straight boiler swap. Don't expect anything fancy out of it. It is literally going to be boiler off the wall, boiler on the wall, connect up everything else again, and away we go. I hope so. Let's go and see what today brings, because after that I've still got to go and sort out a Wiesmann. That's the one that I went to a few weeks ago, where it needs new flow and return hoses. I need to clean the plate out. The burner nuts, it needs a full service as well. So the burner nuts, if you remember, one of them, someone had snapped the Torx bit inside the screw. So I need to cut that out, and then obviously I've got replacement burner nuts and everything. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting day. It's probably going to be a long day. Let's see how we get on, and I'll keep you guys posted. All right, this is the one that's getting swapped out. There's a new one. Like I said, it's a like for like boiler, so I'm hoping it's going to be straightforward. And the reason why is because there, that's gone straight through, because that flow connection has been weeping. Don't know why it's been weeping, well, probably because it's not done it properly, but you can see it's pretty tight above this boiler. I haven't got a great deal of room, but luckily on these brackets the boiler slides off rather than lifting off. So I'm hoping I've got to change this filter to the glow-on filter to get them the 10-year warranty. The pump is on the return, but it is pumping that way. So I don't think that's going to be an issue, because I know in heat onlys, normally you have the pump on the flow, but if you think about system boiler or a combi boiler, the pump's on the return inside the boiler, isn't it? So considering the pump's this close to the boiler, being on the return, I don't think that's any issue. So we've got a 3-port here as well. That doesn't need changing or anything like that. It is a gravity fed system, so I'm going to go and bung the system. I'm hoping I can probably maybe loosen that off a bit, swing it up. I mean, ideally I would have liked to move the pump onto the flow, but there's not any room there to do so, and you've got the wiring center here as well, so none of that's going to happen. And then on this side we've got a couple of isolation valves on this filter, so I'm hoping I can isolate that, so that will stop any water from coming through after I've bunged it. And on this side we should only get a little bit of water coming out, because obviously if the 3-port's closed, it's going to be in the hot water position, so there might be a bit of water left in the cylinder coil that might come out. I'm hoping the bungs do hold and it makes my life easier. Probably I might just knock this bit of boxing out just to make my life easier to be able to work around the boiler as well. But like I said, I'm not going to be filming the whole thing. I'm probably just going to set you guys up on a time lapse somewhere here, and then you can just watch me crack on. So for once, a like for like swap actually went like for like. Removed the handle off of that butterfly valve. I'm going to put that in the pack, take that back with me. If there's ever any work that needs to be done on the boiler itself, I can lock off both sides, because that butterfly valve shuts off as well. That pump valve held as well, which allowed me to lock it off, cut a little bit of section of pipe out there and then fit the butterfly there. But yeah, all done exactly the same. The wall was crap here, and I did struggle to get the fixings on, but I just drilled loads of holes. Use those core fixes, because it's got this, I think it's like plasterboard, and then you've got, not plaster, it's bonding, and then brickwork, where you can see how it is up there. It was quite crumbly, but I used core fix, long plugs with the metal insert and then the long screws. But that's done, it's commissioned, it's all working, everything's getting hot. I'm out of here. It is 1:45, so it's taken me just under 4 hours to do everything from start to finish. Let's go. Here we go. Remember this one from before, where the burner nuts were, one of the burner nuts was well, a bit has snapped inside it, and I couldn't do the service on it. So it's got a block plate. So it's got needs new flying return hoses. Pretty much a partial rebuild, I guess. If you know when you got to do the flying return hoses, you know that the main heat exchanger has got to come out. It's 4:30 on a Friday afternoon. Do you know what? I'm actually not even worried about this one. I was more anxious about the boiler swap this morning, which went fine. But this, I'm just like, yeah, it's 4:30. Okay, it's late on a Friday-ish. But this is my bread and butter stuff. I'm confident in working on. So I'm confident. You give me a boiler to just completely strip out, put back together, no problem. Give me a boiler install to do, and I'm like, I think that's just the difference between installers and service and repair people, because there's people who will look at an install and be like, boom, yeah, I can do it. But they'll look at something like this and they'll be like, ooh. Whereas I'm the opposite way around. I'm like, I look at this, I'm like, let's do it. Give me an install. I'm like, ooh. That's me. Film as much as I can. I've got my torches. I've basically brought loads of stuff up here. Luckily, I'm up in the loft, so we are at the highest point. First things first, I need to just go into the settings and figure out how to put the diverter into mid position and then drain the boiler out. I'm going to start with the main heat exchanger, get that out, take the burner out and everything, and then I'll do the plate. I'll get the main heat exchanger out, then I'll get the plate out. I know I can do it either way, but I'll do that. I'm going to do it that way. So let's get started. Let's get started. Okay, so I actually remember this from before. To get into the service mode, menu, service. So I've already put in the password and I'm in there. Then you go into actuator test. Now you can basically do your minimum, maximum from here, full load, base load, whatever. Valve, you've got heating, middle, domestic hot water. Do that. There you go. I can hear the diverter valve doing its thing. So now that's in mid position. I'm going to lock off the flying returns. Actually, I'm not going to lock off the return because I'm going to use the filter to drain the pressure out. And we'll recharge the vessel. Obviously got this vent pipe up here, so that will make sure that will get drained out. I always get very nervous because my van is parked right out there and I'm hearing noises. I'm in Palmer's Green. I don't know if it's the safest area or not for van theft. I don't think anywhere's safe for van theft, but I'm always on edge. So now let's start getting this all drained out. There you go, that's just finishing draining out. Always remember to open this, so that will just make sure it gets rid of all the water in the boiler, because we are going to be taking the main heat exchanger out. Just going to quickly recharge the expansion vessel, even though I recharged it probably when I was here, what, about a month ago. Still full of air, but I'll give it a quick blast, make sure that's okay. Now the customer has actually said to me that they've also noticed that when they're running hot water, radiators are getting hot. So it could be a diverter valve issue. It could be because the plate's blocked, it's pushing through the flow pipe. So we've agreed that we're going to do this first and then test it, see if there's any other issues. We'll have to address that afterwards. But for the time being, this is what we're here to do today. The next thing I need to do is turn the power off. That's all going downstairs. So I'm going to find where the spare is. So I'm going to start disconnecting all this. This is that screw. So I'm going to cut a little slot in with my angle grinder, try and get that out. The others shouldn't be too bad. And then I can start looking at disconnecting. I've got 1, 2, 3 on the main heat exchanger. Yeah, 3 10mm nuts on the main heat exchanger to pull it out. But first I need to get the burner out and everything, and then get to the plate as well. Oh, luckily the plate's just at the front here, so that shouldn't be too bad. I thought it was at the back for some reason, but it's not. Okay, let's carry on. Well, you saw me hammering away. Finally, it's moving. It's moving. I actually wasn't sure if it would work, but it's moving. Bit by bit. Well, I'm going to keep hammering away. We're winning. Honestly, this screw, I was more worried about this screw than doing this whole job. Got it out now. So now I can actually carry on doing what I actually need to do. Right, let's get the burner out now. Right. Already loosened that off before. And now oh yeah, that is definitely in need of a service and a clean out the main heat exchanger. It looks like they've had some condensate backing up as well. The electrodes look okay. Yeah, I think she's had some issues with the condensate backing up. Right, let's pop this to one side. And now drop the condense off of there. Now we've got 3 10mm nuts at the back, which I need to loosen off, and then I should just be able to drop that and bring that forward. Alright, so return hoses disconnected from there. Let's get this out. So got one there. That's fine. I'm not worried about that dropping back there because I can get to it. Now this bit, sometimes I loosen this off because you've got the turret that goes into there, but I'm going to try and see if I can do it without loosening that off, and if I can just pull it forward. Now, these are pretty heavy, and let's also just make sure that nothing's going to get in the way. Okay, that's it. So I need to pull it forward and down, and that's the tricky bit. I think this is why I need to loosen that off, because I can't actually pull it forward. Can I actually just pop the flue? No, there's not. That flue's pretty solid. Whoever's done it, they've done it properly. Okay, let me see what I can do with this. Okay, something's happening. I literally just tried to move that off, and it's moved the whole main heat exchanger, so I think it's about to drop. There we go. We're out. We're out. Oh, we've got more coming out. We've got more coming out. Okay. Okay. A bit of water came out that return hose. That's okay. Probably try and flush the actual main heat exchanger out as well. What I might actually do is pop these hoses back on here, get the filling loop, blast water through here, and try and get it to flush out the main heat exchanger. So a slight change of plan. We've got an outside tap here, so I'm going to flush it all out here, but first I'm just going to hoover up all the inside, then put the end of the hose in there, and that should blast it all out through there. Clean all this up in here first. I've got the hose connected into there, and we should see a load of muck come out of there. I'm trying to do it like that. Okay, let's see. Depends how blocked up that return pipe is. There we go. Look at that. Look at all that. So that main heat exchanger has got a lot of muck in it. Or at least that's all getting flushed out at the same time. Now that's running nice and clear. We'll let that run for a few minutes. Make sure there's nothing else left in there, and then we'll take it back upstairs. I had to take a little break because it's 6 o'clock and I was hungry. So I know I'm going to be here for a while, so I thought, let me just take a break, have some food. That's back up here. Let's get that back in there, and then I'll start dealing with the plate. Okay, let's get ready. Put the main heat exchanger in. So I've sprayed some silicone grease spray on there. Spray some silicone grease spray on the turret seal. I've fitted the return hose on it as well. So now let's try and get this in. Let's see how much water is. There's still a fair bit of water in the main heat exchanger. Right, hang on. Oh no, okay. Let me come back to this. Okay. I think that's all the water out of there, I hope. Now, this is the trick of it because I've got to get it up and then in. Okay. The thing is, it's not like it's super heavy, but it's just awkward because I'm trying to balance that, pushing it against the back of the boiler, at the same time trying to make sure the turret seal don't slip out, which I don't think it will. And then, all right. Okay, right, I've got the top one. One of the top ones, one of the bottom ones on. Now let's get that last one in back there. Lovely. Right. Cool. That's tight. That's tight. Sweet. Okay. Now I've got to put the turret back on, stick that on there. I need to remember to put the new spring clip on there, and then do the flow connection, and then I'll take the plate out. While that's cleaning, I'll then give this a clean. I know I could have washed it out outside, but I just thought it would be easier because then I'll just put the condense hose back on there and then run that into like a plumb tub. It'll be easier for me to clean it that way. Main heat exchanger is back in. Now I'm gonna do the plate. Now from what I can see, it's only one screw there, and I believe there's two prongs that go in that way because there's no screws or anything on that side. Turn the water off, open up a hot tap downstairs. I'm gonna undo that screw, and I'm just gonna hope that there's not too much water that comes out. What do I need? A T20 screw. Right, let's loosen that off a bit first. Okay, there's a bit of air sucking in. That should be draining the rest of the water out of there. Okay, that was pretty straightforward. Here we go. Here comes the water. I've got more blue right here anyway. Let's do a little switcheroo. Right, now
Yeah. Oh. Okay. Right. Yeah, it's come out pretty easily, but the majority of it, yeah, water stopped, so that's good. Plate's out. I can already see a lot of muck in the plate, so let's take that downstairs and clean it out. Boiler's all back together, bar the plate. Now I'm going to go and do a drop test, make sure that connection is all sound, and then go and check the plate, see if that's all nice and clean. If it is, pop it all back together and start doing our 26/9 checks. Sorry? It's getting better, yeah? Good. Boiler temperature is holding steady as well, so it's not overheating, which is a good sign. I just saying the boiler's not overheating, so that's a good sign. Turret seal is looking good as well. Boilers, oh, need to tighten it up a bit, but. Sorry? Nice and hot? Yeah. Right, that's good, that's what we want to hear. You can turn it off now. I'm just going to finish off doing my final checks, and then we should be all done.